upcoming events. Madonna, the Met, Philadelphia, December 7.811, sold out.
$7.8.11 with a sold out across the 7.
I know some sellouts.
Get that 25% off and that new 2020 model before they sell out. Okay, take advantage now.
Maybe. What is it? Is it a rocket ship? Spaceship? Oh, that's a pretty cool one. Huh. It's like a duck, kinda.
Back on December 20th, 2017. Seeing this in the sky.
Yeah, you be the judge.
That's what I'm saying.
You tell me.
Well, I'll tell you what someone else will say. Here we have Old Dabu 7. Old Dabu. Massive fireballs coming down in Oregon. Witnesses thought it was a plane falling. Oh man, so what you're trying to tell me is they're gonna say that when that star / airplane / meteor / holographic image set up with bombs hits Philadelphia, that building, the William Penn, or at 17th and John F. Kennedy Boulevard, like in that area, 2 hits, that it's going to be, what's it going to be? Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Or is it going to be...
I've been warning about fireballs here the past couple days, seeming that we've had several objects picked up that were heading this way, 2 that were just discovered within the past couple days.
Almost 2 years later.
Now, none of them expected to come within the distance of the moon, but when this happens, there's always a chance of fireballs, because it's just like pool balls on a pool table.
It's barely there. See?
The rest of the rocks or the rest of
See how far it is? But it's
around,
there.
It can send them in all directions. Therefore, sending some our way. This looks like to be what happened here last night, as they're saying in Polk County. This is out of Oregon. They're saying from the sheriff's office, receiving calls of a bright fireball that many believed was an aircraft going down. Many people that first witnessed this thought that this was an airplane crashing into the woods. They later find out that that's not the case. It was no aircraft. They're saying that it was either space junk or a meteorite.
It was.
They always seem to do weird turns.
Miracles, signs, and wonders is what they are.
Right now, they're leaning toward that this thing was a meteorite the size of a car that burned up in the atmosphere, and by the time it got down toward the ground, it was probably around the size of a baseball.
In front of it, like a sparkling light, as if it's an airplane.
They have a team up here searching the
ground. And then the rest is just fire.
Chunks of the rock. They're saying that the sheriff's office, receiving calls of a bright fireball that many believed was an aircraft going down. Many people that first witnessed this thought that this was an airplane crashing into the woods.
What does that look like to you? Just a light in front of it, like a sparkling light, as if it's an airplane.
As if it's a what?
It's an airplane.
Oh, an airplane.
And then the rest is just fire.
Well, that's what it looks like, Robin.
Out that that's not the case. It was no aircraft. They're saying that it was either space junk or a meteorite. Now they're leaning toward that this thing was a meteorite the size of a car that burned up in the atmosphere, and by the time it got down toward the ground, it was probably around the size of a baseball. They're saying that they have a team up here searching the ground to see if they can find chunks of the rock, because that's what you're going to find. Oftentimes, people may find chunks of a rock on the roof.
I'm just showing everybody
to how did that get up there? Odd-looking
for
rock. Guess what? That could very well be a meteorite.
I just want you to know what we're seeing.
Checks out.
We're seeing in the daytime already.
Now, the elements and what it's composed of, it's very unique.
It's absolutely
every meteorite, every rock that falls from the sky is different. Really don't know what you're going to find. But here we have it. Another massive fireball comes down in this region. And there's still searching for answers around this one. So if you've got any answers to it, any images, anything related,
Here,
let me
Dabu.
know.
Right here.
Dabu7yahoo.com.
Hey, Dabu.
Follow me on Twitter. Make sure to hit that notification bell here on YouTube to get notified.
This thing just popped out of nowhere.
Come on over here, Dabu. I'll show you something 2 years ago that I seen what you guys are doing ahead of time. Now we're finally going to start seeing it.
It keeps making images. Look at this thing.
Yeah, it's like a snail.
That's a weird looking image, ain't it?
Have we met? 6 p.m. Upcoming events. Madonna. The Met, Philadelphia, December 7.811. Sold out.
December 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th.
Brothers and sisters, Brother John, watchman for that great day. It was the day after, December the 11th is the day after YouTube wants to take down channels that are not commercially viable.
Trying to be here and to make sure that we keep our YouTube live program a place that is acceptable to their guidelines, which, by the way, I had no clue that my wife just told me about it. I guess some of you guys have written us about this. Where are we going to be when YouTube shuts down our channel? We hear that there's a major purge coming in December the 10th, I believe it is. And so we will have to see how that goes.
The ex-NASA employee, he explained his theory and backed it up with a lot of proof of why they're cooling the Earth off, and it has to do with the lake of fire that's starting to show itself underneath.
Lake of fire that's starting to show itself underneath Antarctica.
The Antarctica. Yeah, imagine that. Imagine that.
Yeah, Richie, yeah. He's the one that I first heard it from, with YouTube shutting down his channel and all the others, you know, that are telling the truth by December 10th. And just a quick note, just letting you know that this 5G and LED lights are weapon systems. LED, like Kleck's Led Zeppelin, letting you astray. I'm not going to go back and show everything, but August 31st is the beginning of Kleck's 100 days of no lying. And on that day, that was the shooting over in Odessa, Texas, the Home Depot reference. 37 days later was October 7th, 2019. And when he's sitting there at the table showing you table number 37, he was telling you that on October 7th, that was the 37th day since his envelope that he got with the stamp on there from August 31st at $435, along with going to the $435 Home Depot. It's all intertwined and connected together. Then you go back to the 50 days along with this 50-mile-an-hour crossing Corpus Christi. Those 50 days land on October 20th, and October 20th was the day that the Dallas, Texas Home Depot number 75 on I-75 got destroyed. 50 days exactly from this point on, and then you have 800 feet to go. So if you have 1,600 furlongs at 50, you're halfway there. So if you take this portion and put the 75 in there, because that's what they're giving you, then November 14th hits the shooting, the most recent shooting at August High School in California, which was the 75th day. From that point on, Home Depot number 75, I-75, go into November 14th. So if you take 100%, no lying. This is Kleck's timeline, okay? I don't know why it's starting August 31st, but apparently it is. Then it brings you right to where you go to December 9th, evening, morning, Monday, into Tuesday. December 9th and 10th is the 100 days. And as Kleck would say, it would be 100% no lying.
It doesn't get any more simple than this. This is the mystery. It doesn't get any more simple than this. This is the mystery of everything, and it's the most simple thing in the world. It's so crazy. Okay.
So here's the goal. 100 days to finish it out. 25% left from the 75%. You have you have Paul Begley. He's letting you know that part with his 25% flashlight there that he's trying to sell you.
New 2020 model before they sell out. 5% off. It's the perfect gift for you and for your loved ones this holiday season. There's a limited supply, and it lasting. So you need to do this while you can. It's the very last chance to get that 25% off and that new 2020 model before they sell out. Okay.
Sold out. The music of Queen. I know some sellouts.
Me too. Hey, Kleck, what's that saying that you have?
100% no lie. Was that right from the beginning? It's a yes or no answer.
Well, yeah. Well, thanks. What are you getting cocky with me for? You just gave me the right answer. Yeah, it was right from the beginning. August 31st was the beginning of your 100 days. That every significant in-between number seems to line up on some type of major event or some type of news. And yeah, this is some major news here. By evening, morning, at the end of December the 9th, the 10th, that YouTube channels are going to get shut down because if they can't produce quality commercial type material, then you're out is the excuse. And then it just happens that there's like, well, once you get to the evening morning from the 10th to New Year's evening morning, where the next dark days are coming, is here you get your spiritual dark days being withheld for 21 days. Then you're going to have your bombardment of like God coming with the clouds of mushrooms in the air. Then you're going to have the 21 days later, 24, somewhere in between, you'll have the actual darkness, the literal darkness that we'll see in our skies. That'll be dark for 3 days.
The Knesset will have 21 days to try to form a government.
Now this is a, you know, that group, the Steve Fletcher group, 222 guys. They're all connected together. They have the same type of agenda, and now there's apparently this Knesset will have 21 days to try to form a government. So time expires on December 11th at midnight. December 11th at midnight. Well, that's let's see, isn't that the same? December 7th midnight. No, it's not that. December 11th. Have we met? There's a, you know, you can see the fireball here.
I wonder what that is.
Fireball coming down, Philadelphia. Perfect timing. Have we met? I don't even know who this guy is. I don't know. I didn't look into it, but I'm just looking at the code words and dates and numbers that they're all being real in sync with each other.
The time expires on December 11th at midnight. Notice the date, brothers and sisters, December 11th at midnight. But watch what happens. It was the day after, December the 11th is the day after YouTube wants to take down channels that are not commercially viable.
Midst of the week, huh?
Members from various factions will attempt to gather the necessary minimum of 61 seats to support a candidate who they think will have the support and ability to build a governing coalition.
So they need 62. They're going to need like the age of 62 seats.
If the candidate is found, by all accounts, an unlikely scenario, he or she will then have 14 days to form a government, with no chance of extension. Brothers and sisters, 14 days from December 11th places us at Christmas time, the 25th of December. Who knows what is going to happen? But, you know, this is just all interesting time.
You need to do this while you can. It's the very last chance to get that 25%.
It's a yes or no. It's a yes or no. 100% nylon. Jonathan, turn it upside down. 100% no line. Was that right from the beginning? It's a yes or no answer. The answer is hell yes, it's right. It's perfect. It was
Everything. We even said it before it happened that this was going to happen. Everything. We even said it before it happened that this was going to happen. That was the plan. Even the ISIS militants who were being freed obviously knew that they were being freed and that their purpose was to go into Iraq. But
there is a fireball at the bottom of that Met Philadelphia. At the bottom, there's an X. There's a 1 on each side of her. An X marks the spot. Philadelphia, Planet X.
But, you know, the information
1 would be 2. December 7th of the 8th year through the 11th. 9 the 2nd, 9/11 on the 11th of December.
Step
12/11.
It
Kleck had this thing
clearly.
that he was pointing out the missiles are coming. 11/21. Remember 2016 this folder? Just understand that they like to do things backwards. So when there's 11/21, it's 12/11.
But you know, the information that we were able to give step by step before it happened is clearly very accurate information, and where the new attacks is going to take place. And that does not mean that the pilot knew, as he says, that the helped to be unintentional, coincidental, or by mistake. He said, eventually we received the intel from our surveillance that Americans are doing reconnaissance flights for ISIS. So we put more surveillance and got 100% verification. All right.
And got 100% verification. I'm telling you, Stephen Ben-Danoon is, in my view, one of the insiders that knows the right way to go. So he's dropping other information that I'm picking up on the positive side.
Right. So this is another guy fighting. He's fighting ISIS, and they realize that the Americans are actually helping them. Anytime one of these attacks took place, there was a flight preceding it. After that, we laid a trap twice, and then it stopped once they realized we were using their reconnaissance flights as a guide on where the new attacks is going to take place. And that does not mean that
where the new attacks is going to take place.
The pilot knew, as he's
pilot knew. Pilot knew. You know, the pilot that's driving the airplane, he knew.
Says that his reconnaissance flight was for ISIS, but that does not mean the field commander of ISIS that led the attack knows the info comes from Americans either. So it kind of went both ways. Really interesting.
This is interesting because I can't help but to think he's talking about the 97th day like 3 days beforehand or something.
This book called The New Jerusalem, Zionist Power in America.
New Jerusalem. I remember Kleck's calling Philadelphia New Jerusalem, you know, Philadelphia, brotherly love.
By Michael Collins Piper. And on page 97, it's only 2 pages here.
97. And it's only 2 pages. Is that the 2-3 bypass?
But it kind of corroborates a lot of the information I shared with you guys just recently. But going much further back, he says the title of this little chapter says, "Who towers behind Trump? The strange story of the Donald." It goes on to say, I'm just going to read you a few paragraphs here, so I think it's worth noting because I didn't even know this information. And by the way, Jonah was never dead when he was inside the fish either, so you have to think about that, right? We know his body was placed inside of a grave, but when he writes it in the Hebrew language, he specifically says that the son of Adam, actually, guess the way he says it there, the Ben Hadam. Let me see if I happen to have that. I don't have it handy. If I had it handed out, I'd read it to you. So I thought I had it sitting here on my desk still. Anyway, I'll read it to you guys some other time there. I'll look into it more to see if there's anything else out there besides that. Blessings to you all. And don't forget, Fact News Network. I have not loaded any videos there lately, but it is a backup channel that we started in the event that they take down Israeli News Live. We don't know what all they're going to do. I'll look into that. I didn't know it all till today. So anyway, I want to do a teaching on that anyway, about that, where Jesus talks about, basically he's telling you, doesn't say it in these words, it's in a parable, but when the Pharisees get control, they're going to shut down the preaching of the gospel. That's what's coming.
And X marks the spot. Philadelphia, Planet X.
Think about it.
1-1 would be 2.
By the way, I'm supposed to be on some radio show tonight, and
At noon, darkness fell across the whole land until 3 o'clock. At about 3 o'clock, Jesus called out with a loud voice,
Eli! Eli! Lema sabachthani!
which means, my God, why have you forsaken me? Some of the bystanders misunderstood and thought.
What's that?
Misunderstood. Some of the bystanders misunderstood.
That's probably referring to people that get second, third, fourth, fifth-hand information, along with these. They're actually standing right there, and they misunderstood what he was saying. But it's probably because he said it in another language, and that's where all the misinterpretations come from.
And thought he was calling for the prophet Elijah. One of them ran and filled a sponge with sour wine.
Sour wine.
Holding it up to him on a stick so he could drink.
Obviously, sour wine is not, it's the opposite of the Word of God.
But the rest said,
Leave him alone! Let's see whether Elijah will come and save him!
Then Jesus shouted out again,
Father, I entrust my spirit into your hand.
and he gave up his spirit.
So he gave it up at that moment. He died before the thief on the left and the right died. And he didn't get his bones broken because of that reason.
At that moment, the curtain in the temple was torn in two. The earth shook. Rock split apart.
And this is when everybody wakes the frick up, because it's going to be that event that happens in front of your face, that you cannot deny it anymore, and you can't pretend it's not happening anymore, because it's going to be right dead in front of your face, dominating the world.
Tombs open. The bodies of many godly men and women who had died were raised from the dead after Jesus' resurrection. They left the cemetery, went into the holy city of Jerusalem, and appeared to many people. The Roman officer and the other soldiers at the crucifixion were terrified by the earthquake and all that had happened. They said, "Truly, this was the Son of God."
Sorry. Yep, there it is.
Huh?
That's why they make that.
What'd you
thing
say,
double-
Son of God?
It wasn't it? It was. And then we got to weed out all the shields. Quench false prophet. No, you're gonna burn. Sorry. 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 Yep, there it is. It's a messenger, wasn't it? It was. And then we got to weed out all the shields. Quench false prophet. No, you're gonna burn.
See, you know what I mean? Like, it's the kind of shit that kind of, it gets on my nerves after so long. Because this is that doctrine that they teach, that you're gonna burn in hell, and because he has tools like this working for him, showing you his images that he's showing in the sky, and you're gonna burn to death because of that. It's just, it gets old after a period of time.
Sorry. Yep, there it is. That's why they make that thing double U. Get it? There it is. And there's the right side up. I'm sorry, there's the right side up, upside down, male, female, watch. So, there it is. The female that runs the system, the mother goddess, upside down. See it? Male and female. When one has to die. They died so the desert could bloom. Get it? There it is. That's El, the Almighty God, 410, access, Corpus Christi, the body of Christ. You can't even make this stuff up. And I was like, Corpus Christi Road. See? Speed limit 50. Let's see. That was on Wednesday at 9:03 a.m.
So that was Wednesday, 9:03 a.m.
The body of Christ. That's what it means. And I was like, Corpus Christi Road. See? Speed limit 50. Let's see. That was on Wednesday.
Wednesday, 9:03 a.m. 50 miles per hour. Corpus Christi, 800 feet to go. This time, he's showing you at 11:11, but he's telling you it's on Wednesday at 9:03 a.m.
See, I have different pictures of Old Corpus Christi Road. That was the day, but I screenshotted that later to get a zoom in on it because it was really throwing me for a loop. Yeah, okay. The day I went to go get that shower pan was September 29th at 2:12 p.m.
You know what I mean? Like, what's the point of giving us different dates there?
At 2:12 p.m.
2:12 p.m., huh?
is when I went to get that. Yeah, it's 12:25 a.m. right now. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. It's 12:25. It's Christmas right now. Yeah, it's right now. It's Christmas. So
12:25 a.m. right now on my phone. But
yeah. So at this exact moment, it's 12:25 a.m. So he wasn't trying to show you December 25th for any reason at all about getting a shower pan. Well, what do you think a shower pan represents? Well, to me, it represents a flood. It represents a dam explosion. It represents like a tsunami or something like along those lines.
September 29th at 2:12 p.m. That's when I went to go get that shower pan on Corpus Christi Road. Then I walked in the door, and Batcat was laying here all just not good. That's when I took him over to that. Because when I saw Wednesday on there, it threw me for a loop. I was like, what? That's because I went back and screenshotted this like last Wednesday to get a close-up of the Corpus Christi Road. Look at that, 410. 410 is the number in Hebrew for El, the Almighty God. Corpus Christi is the body of Christ.
You can't even make it up.
It's like just so far out there. It's like, oh.
Back on October the 7th is when this video was shown. Not that it was produced on the 7th, it was shown on the 7th. And the 37 on the table.
That's how many days it was from August 31st, 2019, the beginning of his stamped envelope.
I was like, so I pulled it out, and someone had sent me pictures. So, let's see. No, by the way, there's a date on this. It was like September, or it may have been August 31st. Anyway, so, but what I did is I scratched out, addresses and stuff. And I opened it up, it says, Dear
August 31st. August. Like August? Say, is that August high school there? Say, is that August high school on November 14th? Exactly 75 days from August 31st, the time that Johnathan got his envelope.
Johnathan, I know you're swamped with mail and can't expect you to remember all those who corresponded to you. I'm the board guy who just sat back and watched supernatural unfolding and mourn, and yet more to come.
No, it didn't say mourn. You added that. As the guy sat back and watched a supernatural show take place that's coming to Philadelphia.
So look, so you see, there's the envelope we came in. I scratched out his address, says Johnathan, and then look what was inside of it. There's all these pictures, and all the pictures had a little sticky note on them. And so, I was freaking out driving to the post office, like, I hope I got this thing right. And that's what I pulled out of my P.O. box. You want to see what's in there? Watch this.
The PO box?
Okay, so these are the pictures in order, more or less. So I open it
In order, okay, more or less. So what comes first?
up. I think this one was first. It said, here, let's open this one first. It said, 15 minutes before the cement truck came, this tree decided to fall over. And I'm thinking,
So 15 minutes before the cement truck came over, the tree, it decided to fall over.
that's crazy. I had all these trees I had to clear out of the way for the cement truck to get back there. That's really weird. And I was just like, that's so bizarre. So they had to clear the road for the cement truck to be able to pour their slab.
Which is the William Penn building, which is dead center in the middle of the road.
That's crazy. I had to do the exact same thing. Trees and dirt. 2 days of working my ass off. And I was
Sounds like the 2-3 bypass.
like, that's weird. So I'm looking at these pictures. Don't forget, what did I pray on the way down to the post office? Lord, please show me I got this right.
And he keeps showing you movie 4. Movie 4. He keeps clicking over to it.
With the framing and please
Real
confirm that
quick.
the world's coming. And so then it says, let's see, so there's that one. Here's the next picture, and then it shows the clear roadway. It says,
It shows
the other two trees fell a couple or so days after the
roadway.
construction crew had to use the neighbor's driveway. We worked our
So there's a couple days after that